This I wrote from sitting in my back garden. It's the stay-at-home order. So she sat, legs crossed, under the willow tree, unseen, absorbing the sounds of here and now. The man 3 doors down came out on his upper deck with a false illusion that he was alone, invisible, sucked down in his own vortex, his shoulders hunched over, trembling. The pandemic's bony finger had stretched out and touched each being in some way. On the other side of the fence at her back, she heard the chicka boom of the boy who was practicing his drums. Boom, 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 chicka boom. Pulsating joy, his brother played air guitar, youth's invincibility. She stretches her torso, leaning her head backwards, face up towards the warmth of the sun, like the resting cat on the top of the fence. Its deep, throaty purr rumbles through the air. He unfolds himself, arches his back before chasing a squirrel down the line of back fences. Next door, to her right, the high-pitched scream of a baby softens to the soothing lullaby hummed with love as mother hides her fraying edges. Dad is mowing the grass, filling the air with the sweet scent that draws in early summer. Do you know why snails make slime trails? Asks the 3-year-old, laying on the edge of the grass that has already been cut. It's how they find their way home. The dad laughs softly at the question and explanations of a 3-year-old. She could smell the charcoal of burning toast as the diagonal tirade flows out the kitchen window. You burnt the toast. You burnt the toast again. Who burns toast? Burnt toast and burnt bacon, the smells of childhood when it was her father's turn making breakfast before she'd go to school. Why do you always burn my toast? The old lady had dementia and could never remember putting the bread into toast or how many times she had actually toasted this single slice of bread. But he still expected her to make his lunch. That was her job. This old lady could not remember how many times she had toasted this single slice of bread or how many times this old shit had shouted at her. She only saw the young man that she had married last week. Hello. The shout came from the other side of the fence and brought her thoughts back to under the willow tree. She saw the wobbling top of his head rising up until she could see his eyes looking over the top of the fence. I didn't want to scare you, he laughs. I'm just trying to cut back the jasmine. The energetic tendrils were flailing in the breeze, trying to hook and twist to anything that they could capture. I've got to find something to do. He looked towards the base of the ladder that he was standing on and his wife, who was holding tightly onto it. Isn't that right, honey? That's right, she called up over the fence. They had bought the house 6 months ago. They had gotten married 4 months ago, and they should have gone on honeymoon 3 months ago. Their bags were packed and everything, and they had arranged for the cat sitter. And just the day before they meant to leave for the airport, the travel ban was put in place. She liked them, although they were the new folks on the block. They fit it right in. She always felt lucky to live on this block, from the first day that she had moved in over 20 years ago and was the new folks on the block. She sat up and walked towards him as he snipped the jasmine to have almost a face-to-face conversation. Are you sure you don't want me to cut it from this side of the fence? It might be easier. No, it's okay, they answered in unison, then laughed. We're clearing the garden a bit so that we can put the tent up, he added. They had decided that they couldn't go on honeymoon and they had to stay at home. They would give themselves the gift of mini home adventures. This weekend, they would put up the tent, make s'mores on their barbecue, sleep under the stars and pretend to be in a far-off desert island. She smiled to herself as she turned to walk away, thinking, I hope they don't mind that the busy hubbub these gardens become at night when nighttime falls, a warren of wildlife. Her phone vibrated at the same time, singing out by the seaside. A reminder that lunchtime was over and back to work. She gathered up her things from where they sat on the grass and she walked up the stairs, back inside to the temporary desk that she had set up. Oops, sorry, I've just dropped the last page that she set up. The temporary desk that she had set up in the kitchen, away from the not so quiet solitude of the garden, to the virtual reality, this new world that she found herself in.